Time with our world lead, the U.S. Justice Department and Treasury Department have officially launched a joint Russia sanctioning task force working with 7 countries and the European Commission to collectively hit one of Russian President Putin's most prized assets, the oligarchs in his pocket. CNN's Drew Griffin investigates now Putin's secret wealth as critics say we're witnessing the Russian leader's metamorphosis from a president into a czar.
On the shore of the Black Sea, it can only be described as a palace, 190,000 square feet. From the air, you can see the church, tea house, and amphitheater, and reportedly an underground hockey rink, with a no-fly zone and a no-boat zone.
Сейчас ужасно занять.
This, according to an investigation last year by the jailed Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny's group. They claim that this gilded, luxurious palace fit for a king was built for Vladimir Putin.
This palace is very much a symbol and a miniature of Putin's Russia. He no longer sees himself as a government employee, as an elected figure. He sees himself as a tsar, as a king of some sort. And a Russian tsar, of course, deserves a palace.
CNN can't independently verify Putin's connection to the palace, and Putin's spokesman denies the Russian leader owns it or any palace. Maria Pevchik from Navalny's Anti-Corruption Foundation says they have proof that their sources and documents all point to the palace as an example of how the oligarchs corruptly enrich Russia's president.
It has been paid by Russian oligarchs, by Russian state-owned companies. Money from Russian people, from regular people, was stolen and diverted into building this horrendous thing on the Black Sea.
According to the investigation and a whistleblower who came forward, the money for the palace came from a Russian investment fund company that solicited charity donations from the Russian oligarchs.
There are these rumors about Putin being the richest man in the world, and he may be. It's very, very hard to try to understand what his wealth is and where it's held.
Rumored to be worth more than $100 billion officially, Putin claims an 800-square-foot apartment, a few cars, and a modest salary in 2020, valued at about $140,000. But his official income is irrelevant. Russia watchers say Putin controls Russia by determining who gets money and who doesn't, who gets to run business, who skims profit, and how the wealth is passed. He doesn't need any assets listed in his name, says journalist Tom Burgess. It's all his when he asks.
It's closer to something like The Godfather, but ultimately they owe everything they have to the boss. And with the click of the fingers, as he has shown in the past, Putin can take everything from an oligarch. However rich and however influential they may seem, they are ultimately dependent on him.
Fight the system, interfere in politics, and face his wrath. Exiled Russian oligarch Mikhail Khodorkovsky, who was convicted of tax evasion and fraud, spent 10 years in a Russian prison, he says, for not playing Putin's game. He claims Putin is paranoid, dangerous, and must be stopped.
В интересах путинского режима.
All the accounts of all the oligarchs who function as Putin's wallet must be stopped. They must all feel the pain right now, and it must continue until the war ends.
Newly imposed sanctions from the West have now made it hard for many of the Russian billionaires to do business outside of Russia. Yachts, bank accounts, frozen. Inside Russia, the economy shows signs of crumbling. But chipping away at Putin's brutal hold on power through economics will take time. From his actions, observers believe Putin's strategy is far beyond personal riches.
He wants to rebuild Russia as a great power. And you almost have to go back to the Tsarist days to understand that.
Just look at the gates of Putin's purported palace, a golden two-headed ground eagle, a symbol of Russia, similar to the two-headed ground eagle that is atop the gates of the Winter Palace that belonged to Russia's last Tsar. And Jake, this story symbolizes just how hard that this sanctioning is going to do in terms of getting to Putin. He is not going to be affected. Many of these oligarchs are willing to sit this one out while their money is safe, even being seized in the West. So it's going to be up to that crumbling Russian economy and its people who are in so much pain to try to put some kind of pressure on a dictator who seems hell-bent on just keeping this war going. Okay.
and who seems hell-bent on not caring about the Russian people in many ways. Drew Griffin, thank you so much.